What's up guys, it's Graphic Phoenix back with another video today, and today I'm finally doing the answers to the Q&A that I posted like 2 months ago, something like that. Couple things before we get started. I'm going to try and add the names of everybody and like their comment somewhere around this area in the screen. You'll see them. Another thing is that Rango is climbing up the front of his cage, so if you hear a bunch of noise, that's why. I'm sorry. As well as one last thing, my laptop is actually right over there, so I'm going to be looking over there. If you see me looking over there, that's why. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Sit back, relax. This will probably be pretty long. So first question comes from Kong Kids. His question is, what is your favorite species to care/own? Ooh, that's tough. To be honest, they're all different. They all have their own personalities and quirks and obviously their own care because, I mean, they're all different species. But if I had to pick one, it's probably the monitors, the red Aki monitors that are back there, or my tortoise. Reasons why is because the monitors, while Stella isn't all that friendly, she's still very interesting, and Bowser is a character and a half. He is completely crazy and loves to come out. I was just sitting on my bed with him for like 20 minutes just hanging out. So they're awesome, awesome, very, very intelligent. You know they're looking at you and you know that something's going through their head. Not really sure exactly what that thought might be. Might be, get the hell out of here, I want to eat him, something like that. You never know. But with the tortoises, they live a really, really long time, so they're going to be a lifelong pet. And I personally love that. I know Rango's getting up in age and he's going to eventually pass away, and that is going to be really, really, really sad. But Sheldon, I know, will be around for pretty much my whole life, so that will be fantastic. Also, one of the main things I love about them is how they eat. It's just so funny seeing them. If I find a clip, I'll put it in here, but it's hilarious seeing them eat. If not, go search up a clip on YouTube and there'll be plenty of them eating, and they just kind of chomp down and slowly mow through it. Next question's from Trombone Z-Man. How do I set up a good incubator for leopard geckos? P.S. The reason I asked is because I have 2 leopard geckos and they're still young enough that I don't know their gender. Incubators, I'm going to try and do a video on it. Right now, obviously, I don't have anything to incubate. A couple months ago, I had the incubator over there in my room, the fridge that I converted into an incubator. I can show you guys how to do that in another video. Hopefully I'll be getting eggs from the monitors sometime, and then I'll definitely show you how. But best way to do it is either get one from a store. There's some good ones you can find. I know the Exoterra incubator, I don't remember what it's called, has kind of mixed reviews, so take your chances with that if you like. You can also make your own. They're really easy. I'm going to post a tutorial eventually, and you can find a ton of them on YouTube. So if you just take a quick look, you can find. How did you get into reptile and amphibian carrying and housing? Interesting way to ask that question. But for me, it started when I was really, really young. I love dinosaurs ever since I can remember. I still like them today. Well, I'm surrounded by them. They're everywhere. But like, my mom could bring a book up and show me, what's that? I would be able to pronounce it how it's supposed to be pronounced without reading the name, without doing anything like that. I just knew all the dinosaurs in all the books. Not trying to toot my own horn, but that's how it kind of started. From there, as TV and the Animal Planet and Discovery Channel kind of came out, there was a ton of really good shows on there that I watched constantly. Steve Irwin, Crocodile Hunter, was definitely a huge influence on me. Seeing the way that he cared for the reptiles and just loved and had so much passion for everything that he did really inspired me to get into the whole reptile game. And Jeff Corwin definitely had an influence on me too. He was a good showmaker, I guess, and he seemed to have quite a bit of passion as well. After those kind of had their influence and swayed me to reptiles even more, I originally wanted snakes, and my parents said, nope, definitely not happening. So from there I turned to lizards, and at the age of 9, my birth mom got me Striker, my very first reptile, a leopard gecko, and then from there I was just kind of started. And before I got the leopard gecko. I had to do like a year and a half's worth of research. We went to classes at the zoo for beginner reptile keepers. Like, we went to so great extents that it was ridiculous. But I definitely recommend doing as much research as you possibly can. You want to provide the best home possible for any reptiles that you're bringing in. And since then, it's just kind of grown. For the first couple of years, I only had Striker, and then I had Kazi, another leopard gecko, and then it's just grown to what it is right now. Currently, I have 8, so it's not huge, but it's definitely an awesome collection, and I love every single animal. After that long-winded question, we got another question from the Chameleon Kid. What is your dream reptile? Would you ever get a bearded dragon? Where and how much live food do you get for all your reptiles? I'll obviously knock down the first one first. I have a couple dream reptiles. I'd love the full rainbow of tree monitors. You can look them up. There's yellow, green, blue, black, tricolor one. There's a whole rainbow of colors you can get for them. I'd love to have most, if not all of them. However, in Canada, they're very expensive. I think the reptile shop here in town sold one for $2,500. So put that in perspective. That's a lot of money. There's a couple other ones I'd really like. I'd love like a Gila monster or a bearded lizard. They're the venomous lizards. There's so many. Like, you can't wire it down. For somebody that loves reptiles as much as I do, I would have one of everything. Like, there's some things that I obviously wouldn't want, but there's sun gazers, which are fantastic. I certainly recommend you check those out. And as for snakes, I would love a blacktail crebo, any kind of crebo really. Chondro pythons are really cool. They are more of a display animal, but they're still really nice looking. Overall, I'd like larger lizards and maybe a couple snakes here and there, but monitors I really, really like. Meller's chameleons are really, really cool. Like I said, everything. I'm good with everything. Would I ever get a bearded dragon? No. I don't want to get into it because last time I commented on it, everybody seemed to hate me, and I just personally don't want a bearded dragon. That's what it is. Like, I think they're great pets. I think they're perfect pets for beginner reptile keepers, and if you love them, go for it. For me, they're just a little boring. That's my opinion. You're totally entitled to your opinion, but that's what mine is. Where and how much live food do you get? I get it at the pet store that I work at, and when I had the babies, I was getting like 3,000 crickets, 2,000 crickets a week, something like that. And now that they're all gone, I'm getting about 250, because realistically, I only feed crickets to these two up here, the monitors, both chameleons, and my leopard gecko. That's all that eats crickets in here. Dixie? I don't know. What are your plans for the future? Where do you think you'll be in 5 years with your animals? What is your dream reptile / animal room and vision? Well, I kind of talked about my reptile room. I want it big. I want a lot of reptiles. That's what I want. Plans for the future? Honestly, I really like monitors. I could see myself going a little more down their route, but there's certainly some cool reptiles that I certainly could see myself getting. Personally, I'd like to stick with monitors, but you never know. To be honest, I really don't think that far ahead. 5 years is a long time. Like, in 5 years, hopefully I'll be pretty much done university, and either have my degree or continue with like a doctorate or something like that. So 5 years is a very, very long way down the road, and I don't really have a plan for that. All right, next question comes from Bailey Janda. What are your plans for the future? Would you get an iguana? If you could have any reptile, what would it be? Again, this is a kind of, I've gone over it in the last question. Would you get an iguana? No, I don't think I see myself getting an iguana, especially like a green iguana. While they're really cool, some of them can be a little feisty, and I just don't see myself dedicating that much room to something that are, in my opinion, a little boring. If I was going to get something that required that much space, I'd get a sailfin lizard or a Hydrosaurus something. I don't know their technicality of their Latin name, but that would be what I get rather than an iguana. If you could have a new reptile, what would it be? I already answered that, so I will not do it again. Next question comes from Vinecore Reptiles. What substrates do you use for Sheldon? And turns out I actually have an extra bag right here. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's called Sea Soil. It's a mixture of coconut core and like some compost and stuff like that. I just get it from my local garden center. That's simple and cheap, and it covers pretty much his whole pen with one bag, so I'm happy with that. Next question comes from Matt Dockham, I don't know. Have you ever owned a frog or plan to own a frog, and you should add a mini forest in Sheldon's tank? Frogs are really cool. I could see myself owning one kind. I actually almost did it. The Milk's tree frogs are probably my favorite frogs out there. They're really, really cool. So if I ever had the opportunity to get one of those, I probably would. But my buddy up in Edmonton actually is hoping to breed them. He just needs a male. I think they both turned out to be females. So, but yes, I would own a frog. My buddy Daniel actually has 3 or 4 Pac-Man frogs. Maybe next time I'm up there, I can take some video and show you guys his mini reptile room. Or amphibian room, I guess. Timon Sloot. If you could get any one reptile for free, what would it be? And what do you think about snakes? Would you want one? Good luck, keep it up. Well, I kind of went through that. If I could get any reptile for free, I'd probably pick like the most expensive one. So probably like a blue tree monitor, or even the Hydrosaurus are really, really cool. So I could see myself getting one of those for free. That'd be pretty sweet. Also is one thing I didn't recommend in the last question, or I didn't say that I wanted in the last question, but the shingleback skinks are really, really cool to me, and as you know, I have a blue tongue, so I think the shinglebacks are freaking awesome. I would get one in a heartbeat for free because they're really damn expensive. What do I think about snakes? I think you guys know I actually really like snakes. I'm just not allowed to keep them because my parents say I can't, and I'm living in their house right now, so when I move out, I would probably get some snakes. Look forward to that. It won't be happening for another 4 or 5 years, though. Just throwing that out there. Question comes from Toby Mayer. Are you going to work with reptiles later on in life? I really hope to. Right now I'm at University of Calgary for chemistry for now, but I'm hoping to switch to biology from there, maybe go into herpetology or biology of some sort. I really hope to work with animals for the rest of my life, and reptiles will definitely be a part of my home life forever. And if it's part of my professional life, that is totally fine with me. And next question comes from Mugl. Favorite sports teams? I am a Canadian, so my favorite sports team is probably Calgary Flames. I live here. I like them. I follow them. I go to games occasionally. They're my hometown, so I have to love them. But realistically, Boston Bruins are awesome. They're probably my second favorite sports team. And then I don't really follow football or really any other, American football that is, any other sport. Like, I just don't care. Fun fact, one of my neighbors actually won a Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints a couple years ago. So, that's cool. I got to wear the ring. Next question comes from Reptile Kid. What would you recommend as a good starter reptile? This is such a common question. I'm going to do a whole separate video for it, so I'm going to keep this one short. Best starter reptiles can be leopard geckos, bearded dragons, crested geckos. Blue tongue skinks are amazing as well. And if you really like chameleons, just make sure you do a ton of research before you end up getting one. I'll go into more detail in an actual dedicated video to the starter reptiles, but I'll keep it short and sweet right now. This question comes from Eclipse Adventure Lego and Gaming. Will you ever get a new pet soon? Probably not. As much as I want them, my parents have kind of put me on hold. Like I was mentioning before, I would like kind of another fish tank over there, but I don't think that'll happen. Maybe it will. I'm not really sure. If I had a new pet anytime soon, it would probably be babies from these guys, so look forward to that. I'm hoping to get those eventually. Next question comes from Elijah Germain, I don't know. What fruits and veggies do you feed your cams, and how do you do it? I don't feed them any fruits or veggies. They kind of eat their plants by themselves. They have living plants that they can eat. Rango doesn't eat any fruits or veggies whatsoever. He doesn't eat any of the live plants in his tank whatsoever. But Kai goes through that umbrella plant that I have in his tank quick. Like he pretty much all new growth that comes off is gone because he eats it. So other than that, I don't feed them any fruits or veggies. Next question comes from Dara Vince. 2 questions. Are you ever going to get a snake? And a beginner reptile for a young teen? I already went over both these questions. I want a snake really bad. Won't be able to get one here. And beginner reptiles was just a couple questions ago. So last but not least of the questions that I have on my computer is by the Overkill Will. How and why did you get into exotic pets, and what was your first ever pet? I kind of talked about this, how and why, because it started at such a young age with the dinosaurs, and people really inspired me, like Jeff Corwin and Steve Irwin, and that's why I like reptiles. I find them fascinating. They're really fun to take care of, and they led to this YouTube channel, so that's always a good part. And what was my first pet? I guess technically cats. We still have 2 cats. Big, furry, black cats. My first ever pet was Striker, the leopard gecko. Alright guys, that wraps up all the questions that I have on my computer. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comments down below. I won't make another video, but I'll answer them right away. I'm very good with answering comments, so if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them in the box down below. If you made it this far, leave the word Komodo dragon in your comment. That way I know you've made it to the very end of the video, and I know this was a very long video. So if you made it this far, drop that word down below. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed this video. That way I get to know a sense of how you guys like these long videos, if you made it this far, anything like that. Also leave a comment. I already said the word earlier, of anything you really like. I'll answer all comments, so just know that they're down there. And subscribe to my channel for more reptile videos. I hope you enjoyed this long video. If you want to follow me on Instagram or my Facebook page, they're both down below as well. And I hope you guys had a good weekend.